Hello everybody, Watt here. Welcome to episode 40 of Mox Should Not Include Let's Play series with the Space Out DLC. In the previous episode we finished with the last missing achievements concerning agriculture, and today I would like to do a few minor projects before I start working on the next mega project. So with that said, let's jump back into the game and have a look. And here we are back on Abeno at the future mega project I was just talking about. Now, before I do anything else, there is one very important thing I need to deal with, and that is this whole area here, if we go in the temperature overlay, is just so hot that my dupes will simply die when they keep walking into this area here, for example, when going along those ladders. So, I am going to need a cooling loop, and this should be done as the very first thing, and I'm just going to run this along this outer edge here, all the way to the bottom here, to there, and then up, because for now I'm going to use this aqua toner here to also cool down my base. Just going all the way over here. Then I'm going to fill it with water from this pipe here and connect it down here with the cooling loop. And hopefully my dupes will be able to build this before they actually die. Yeah, Ruby, this is a bit hot for you, I would suspect. I just hope he can get out of here before, yeah, that happens. Not optimal, but I hope my dupes should be able to build this here before anyone else has to go to the hospital. And a few cycles later, we now have the cooling loop in place. And as you can see, it's already working quite nicely, with a temperature difference of about 4 to 5 degrees between coming into this area and getting out, which means we are already cooling down this whole area here quite a bit. And we are, at least in this area, already out of boiling temperatures, which is important for my tubes. Very nice to see that. Of course, this still needs to be cooled down further, and I also need to build these pipes here to avoid similar issues in the future when I start to pump the magma through the pipes again. So, for that, I am going to add one more of those kilns here, because this kiln here alone is not producing enough ceramic for my taste right now. So I'm just going to place another 2 over here and get that done. Now, in the intermediate time, let's have a look at this setup over here, where I did some minute changes to my plans, and I'm going to have to make a few changes to the setup here correspondingly. So I need to go one further, then just one higher, and then for over here to high. Yeah, that is the new outer shape I'm going for, which means that I also will have to get rid of these here, and actually also this corner there. I will also need a ladder, 9 from that side here, so at this right here for now. And while I'm here, I might as well add another pair of pumps, just to speed up the entire process, because before all of this here has a proper vacuum, I can't really do anything with it. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit, as I said. So then the bridge, and finally power. So now the kilns should be done already. So let's say I want to make ceramic. Relatively high priority. Same for this one here. And I should very soon see ceramic flowing in. Getting those pipes here built. And I'm also going to have to replace a couple of these here with ceramic. Namely these here, which are currently just igneous rock. They also need to be ceramic. So for now, I'm just going to mark them with those tiles here below. But as I said, I'm just going to replace them once I have the materials. And those down here will not really actually be built. So all of the ceramic tiles are now in place. So it's time to turn on the pump for my magma again. In the intermediate time, the volcano erupted. But I have enough reservoir here, so it's not much of an issue. And you can see the magma is flowing again. Let's speed this up a bit. And we're getting the magma going through here. And those ceramic pipes here should take a bit longer to heat up. Actually, as you can see, it's going a bit slower, but still heating up. But with the cooling right next to that, we should keep all of this here at a nice, if a little bit toasty, temperature. Very nice to see that. Now, next on the agenda is making sure my 2 diggers get a bit of an upgrade. So I have 1 vacillator here. Let's recharge that one. And I think I have another one further to the right, which hasn't been used yet. Yep. So those neural vacillators can give my dupes up to 4 different upgrades. And the first one here is for Gosman. So let's see. And now stop. And he gets beefsteak. So plus 10 to strength, which means he can carry a lot more stuff. And in intermediate time, this one here was reset. So let's also upgrade Gosman for now. And then after the fact, I'm going to upgrade Ruby and Dig. I'm doing this because they will spend a lot of time digging on another asteroid in the near future. And they can really use things like regenerative health 20 plus each cycle. There is another one which halves the air consumption, and a last one which decreases stress over time. So, but as I was saying, first this here needs to be recharged. So recharged is done. And now Gosman gets in here, hopefully soon. Ah, and it's already there. And this time it's sunny disposition, minus 20% per stress per cycle. And then the last one is deep diver's lung, I believe, which means they need half the amount of oxygen. Wouldn't take too long, so recharged. Gosman, get in there. Here he is. And then last one is deep diver's lung, as I said. Air consumption minus 50 grams per second. And here's Ruby for the last proper upgrade, which should be the beefsteak upgrade for them. Okay, no. My 2 builders and diggers are upgraded, so I can prepare send-off of them. So first I need to change the crew, because currently it's Ellie and I don't need another ranger, but my second builder. So now I need a target, and the target is just orbit of Scorchola, which is the asteroid we found a little while ago. So let's launch. For now I'm just going to make landfall, then I'm going to come back and make a few modifications to this rocket here, so it's a bit more useful for my dupes. And with that said, let's have a quick look what we are going to work on next. For one, I would like to make some cobalt. I already moved some cobalt ore over to this side here from my second colony, so I can make a decent amount. And you know what? I'm just going to use basically all I have here, so 3 tons of cobalt should be enough for what I am planning. Cobalt is pretty good when it comes to heat transfer, and it doesn't melt at as low temperatures as aluminium. So it is a decent temperature or decent material when you're working with higher temperatures. Not as high as iron, steel or iron even, but yeah, it's very, very useful if you have it. Now, furthermore, we have a couple storage rates we could work on in the intermediate time if I can find them. So the first one is down here, and this is the one I would like to work on in this episode. So we have this Gravitas shipping container, and if I click on that, we get our first message concerning it. So an unfamiliar building has been discovered in my colony. Well, actually a good while ago, but now we are finally here. There's movement inside, but whoever the inhabitant is, they seem wary of us. If we can convince them that we mean no harm, we could very well end up with a fresh recruit and a useful building, or new building. So for this to work, we first need to knock. And my tube should come by pretty soon. Yeah, Ashkan is already on the job. Shouldn't take too long. Well, let's speed this up a little bit until my dupe is here. And there he is. So, knock knock. Let's have a look. And now we have the Hermit recruitment program. So initial contact was a success. Our new neighbor seems friendly, though extremely shy. They'll need a little bit more coaxing before they're ready to join my colony. And coaxing means delivering 3 different high quality food items, improving decor, and also powering. And that is the first one I'm going to start with. Namely, I am going to power them via this one here, since they need power for 10 cycles, I believe it is. Then, food I can provide via the mailbox here. First, I'm going to provide some surf and turf. And while I'm on that, I might as well start making some food just for this occasion. Some pepper bread sounds pretty nice, actually. Yeah, let's make some pepper bread. And the last one is decoration. So I'm just going to add a couple nice floor tiles and then a couple of those metal blocks here. And that might actually already be enough. If not, I'm just going to add a couple paintings maybe. Yeah, why not? Let's actually do that already. So we need a couple blank canvases. One here. Oh, can I actually go higher? Yep, let's go with the portrait canvas. So one there, and that should be enough for this entire setup here. And here comes the first bit of food, namely the surf and turf. Our hungry hermit here just ate the food. He loved it actually. So that is very nice. So surf and turf is done. Spicy tofu is now on the menu. I also decided to replace the metal tiles here with carpeted tiles since they look a bit nicer and the metal will be used for different things later on. Now let's just speed this up a bit more, and I hope, yeah, there is the... this wasn't the food? Okay, someone bring over the food? Ellie's supply, okay. Ellie, where are you? There is the next food item. And we have our pepper bread. So let's bring that over. And again, the hermit loved that food. And pretty soon... yeah, okay, just ate it, okay. Didn't know there was actually a bit of an emission up there. And the last bit of food should be brought over by, again, Ellie. Okay. So, how are we with the decor value? Okay, decor value is pretty much there. Okay, I can remove that. I don't need the picture frames. So, we have success. All this excellent decor is really making the hermit feel at home. He scrawled a thank you note on the back of an old holiday card. Okay, that is good to know. So I don't actually need those here either. I just need now the power supply for the next 10 cycles, or... oh, it's only 5 cycles, okay. 3000 seconds are 5 cycles, okay. So this is going to take just a tiny amount of time. And here comes Pi with the pepper bread, which means we are also done with providing food. The hermit loved it, and we have the progress. So success, my duplicants cooking has whetted the hermit's appetite for communal living. They've also found what appears to be a page from an old logbook tucked behind the mailbox. Now I could look at the file, but it's not really necessary, I think. So, last part to be done is finishing with this wire here, which shouldn't take too long, since it's just those 2 parts here. Now we have light, and the counter here is running, so in 5 cycles we should be done with this. Now let's have a look at the pumping up here. So we are already in the MC gram area. So this is... it's still going to take a while, but we are advancing quite nicely. Now on the space map we should be in orbit in just 1 cycle. Shouldn't take too long. And oh, we have found Russell's teapot, which is nice. Okay, so... okay. We also have 1 miner waiting, so let's have a look. Okay, it's already empty out, filled up and ready to go. So let's just check which is the next target. Okay, here we are not at the 20 tons. Once we reach that, we should be at 20 tons. So yeah, I'm going to send this to the gilded asteroid field up there. Some more gold and maybe some fullerenes might be quite a decent idea to have. So, initialize launch, and that brings us 1 step closer to another achievement. But for now, it's waiting on the timer here, the vacuum there, and the rocket over here. And to no one's surprise, the rocket is the first one to reach its target, so we are now properly in orbit of Scorchola. Now, usual stuff, just going to land, and I'm going to land obviously somewhere where I can walk a bit, so which is over there. And then in just a few moments, once Angosman is on the way, I'm going to send off Ruby just next to that. And then let's have a look. So I am going to need some material. So let's dig out a little bit of this obsidian. And a building melted? Ah, of course. The building down here melted the moment it was discovered. Because, well, this is all pretty hot magma. And down here we have things like plastic and granite and other stuff that will just melt at those temperatures. So, yeah. But we also have an achievement. So, let's have a look. We are at Cluster Conquest. So, land dupes on rovers on all worlds in the cluster. Which the last one we just did of. Now, as I said, usual stuff. We need to get rid of these trailblazers. We need to get some raw materials, and then we will have to dig down. But that will have to wait until I have my dupes in a slightly different rocket, since, no, it's going to take a little while until I get anywhere with all of this magma in the way. So, first things first, I need a rocket platform. And let's see, where do I want to build this? Doesn't really matter at all. I think I'm just going to place it in this spot here. Yeah, let's place it there. And then I need a couple ladders up here and up there as usual. And now, oh, my dupes can't reach that. Ah, of course they can't reach that because they need to get rid of those materials over there, since the rocket platform is otherwise not actually reachable. And of course my dupes decided to get caught a bit, so now everything should be reachable again. Now, land the rocket, this is the first step. And as I said, I'm just going to send the rocket back to the main base for now, because I would like to make a few modifications. And you just saw one of my dupes was already green in the face, because we have rather strong radiation in the surrounding here, so we will have to make a couple modifications to our setup over here. But as I said, for now, it's time to launch back to home. So, rocket is on its way. And over here, we are still pumping out, which is also going to take a while. Similarly to this over here, we are almost 1/3 along the way. Well, nice to see that. And my two builders have returned. Now, the first thing I would like to do over here is getting rid of the two trailblazer modules. So first this one here, and then this one here too. This one here I'm going to make sure is not getting any more oxygen, because I am going to clear this out. And once this one is gone, I can replace it with a large version of the gas cargo transporter or canister. Then, on top of that, I need a... Well, first of all, this here needs to go. Come on. Come on, back. We need to remove that one. My goodness. So, now, with that in place, I can put in a battery module, and then on top of that I should have enough space for 2 solar modules. That is the outside. Of course, I am going to fill this with oxygen. And then I will also have to make a few modifications on the inside. Namely, I don't need the manual generator and the battery anymore. Subsequently, this wire is also no longer needed. This storage tile here, I'm going to switch over to more atmosuits. And this one here has for some reason only 2 in there, so I'm just going to move this up to the maximum again, just to make sure that my dupes have a decent amount of atmosuits in reserve here. So this all can go then, and yeah, now it's just waiting on the outside, the refueling here and there, and yeah, just waiting on all of this here to be built. In the intermediate time, we still have a little bit of pressure in there, but it's not overly much anymore, so we should very soon see a vacuum appearing. At least, yeah, at some places it's already occasionally happening, over here for example, so that shouldn't take too much longer. And down here, we also only have 1.5 cycles. Okay, so this is all advancing quite nicely. And that means I could start with a bit of a building down here. So for that, I am going to grab myself the cobalt I have already made. I need 2 tiles here, 2 tiles there, and another 2 tiles here. And once I have it, I could also build a few more tiles over here. But I'm not yet there yet. So now I have 2 chambers. I have 4 white and a 2 white one, and those need to be filled with water. So I'm going to put in these here. Then so I can cut them off at any moment, and normal pipes are enough for this. So, and then I go to the outside and I have the water at the top here coming in through this pipe, and this pipe here I actually can off. It's not really needed anymore. Then let's have a quick look what we can print out. Maybe there is something useful in there. Oh, why not? Let's go for another pipsqueak. It's not really that useful. I have already a couple ranches full of them, but why not? Okay, so, but now I think the next one we'll be working on is this one here. Although, depending on how fast my tubes are with building, I might also start filling these here with water. And we're just about done with the storage rate down here. And there we have the message. So, success. The Hermit is very excited about being on the grid. The bright lights illuminate an unfamiliar file on the ground nearby. And I just don't want to read that, but finish with the storage rate. And there we have it. My sweet Duplicants efforts paid off. Our reclusive neighbor has agreed to join the colony. The only keepsake he insists on bringing with him is a toolbox, which, while rusty, seems to hold great sentimental value. Now that he'll be living among us, his former home can be deconstructed or repurposed as storage. Welcome, new duplicant. So, now let's stop. And let's first have a look at the new colony achievement we just earned with that. And that is the No Place Like Clone achievement. Have at least 20 living duplicants living in the colony at one time. And George here was our 20th. Now, let's have a look at his bio. So, he is cooking, rocketry, and supplying. Interesting. Bottomless stomach. Okay. Uncultured. Charismatic. He is not really the best dupe to be around, especially since he's going to eat lots and lots of food, but oh well, why not? Let's keep him in the colony. So, but he is going to be in schedule 4. Priorities for him are going to be, what is he going to do actually? You know what? He's going to be a rancher. I need more than that, than I currently have, so he's going to be one of those, and maybe another cook. Okay, so then let's see. Anything else I need to do? Skills, yeah, of course, skills. So George is going to get the grilling skill and also the basic ranching skill, so he can do what he is here for. Okay, so this is now done. In the intermediate time, I had a little bit of an issue with the oxygen not being supplied properly, but that seems to have rectified itself. Okay. And also, we now have a vacuum, so I'm getting rid of the pumps. They are no longer needed. My tubes are still working on the pipes here, so I can't get the water in. But what I can already do is planning out this area, since I now have a vacuum. So, first, I'm going to need a couple metal tiles over here, then 2 more there. then 2 more up here, and 2 there. And then the next layer will be aluminium. This I'm going to keep open for now, since I need to get some materials in there. And then the aluminium goes all the way to over here. Going to keep this open for now, so I can get down here through this liquid naphtha, which works as a liquid block I placed in the intermediate time. Then in this corner down here, first I actually need to get 2 ladders in place. Then I need a little bit of shipping. So first I'm going to put in a chute in this spot. Then out of steel, 2 conveyor loaders, one here and another one there. And auto sweeper in this spot. That works out pretty nicely. Then this one here is actually going to be an incubation chamber for the critters that are going to go into this area here. And 3 should be enough for that. Then I am going to need some power. So just some a watt wire going down and then over. That is already all of the power I need. Now for shipping I also need some conveyor rails. This one here will go up and then over and then up here. This one here will go over, then will go out like so via a bridge. And then this one here goes straight out like so. And these 2 then will end up in this rail down there. For now I'm connecting the 2 and I'm going to prioritize the rails going down. Coming from the side. At a later point I might want to separate certain things out of this line, so I'm going with this split design here. Usually one of those should be enough. Then anything else I'm missing? Not really, maybe a little bit of decoration. So let's just add some corner trim. Nah, I can't really place that right now. That will have to wait for the future. I will also need to get a little bit of petroleum in here. So I need to get rid of that one. Then over here, I can now close this off. I can also, on the layer above, put in a couple of mesh tiles to this spot. And then over here to this spot. I can also already put in a little pump right here out of steel. Again, some automation, hydro sensor in this spot. Then a connection over there, and I'm going to need again power. Just like this here. Okay, that is looking pretty good. And this one here can go. Basically all of these here can go. Let's just make sure I'm not removing anything I need right now. But yeah, let's get all of this here built before I start planning anything more. And here we go. All of this is now in place, including the water. You might have noticed those pipes here though. Yeah, I'm putting 2 pipes all around this entire build here because currently I have the water and the petroleum coming through those 2 pipes here, and I will heat up this entire space here a noticeable amount and the water would just boil off. So I'm going to go around the entire build to be on the safe side. Now, another thing I forgot about is I need a joint plate in this spot here, which is the reason I built this very tiny and temporary vacuum chamber here, so I can put that in place and then don't lose the vacuum on the side here. Also, down here, I will also need another one, namely in this spot there. And I will need another one going from the edge here, 16 over, so right there. And then it should be 33 to this edge there. Okay, that looks good. That means I can now also run a power wire down here and all the way to this spot, then somewhere around this, and later on further down. Okay, this is all now going to be built. In the intermediate time, I'm pretty sure that the rocket has been loaded up completely. Yeah, it's looking good. So, target is already Scorchola. And I already have the correct crew, which are my 2 diggers. Yeah, so I can start with the launch. And send them on their way. And we have a meteor shower. Interesting. Okay, so Now, while my dupes are... let's speed this up a bit. We should see them coming in quickly. And they are on their way. And they should also have everything they need inside of the Conqueror. So everything is available when they land. I have beds. I have enough food for a long amount of time. I have oxygen. I have a good amount of atmosuits in reserve. Yeah, I think I have everything I'm going to need in the nearest future for those two. Okay, now it's basically just waiting until they actually reach Scorchola, which is going to take 1.5 cycles. My explorer's also almost done with exploring. Very nice to see that. And we're back on Scorchola. Now, first things first, I'm going to need a little bit more resources. So I'm going to be doing a bit of digging over there. And then I will plan to go straight down somewhere around here. So let's just plan for now to go down to this spot here. And my dupes are getting scalded. Yeah, of course. Shouldn't take too much longer though until they are free again. So then I will need a couple of ladders going down, and down there obviously I need to close this off to the side. That is as far as the planning over here will go for now. I will also add a little chamber down here so I can put in a couple triage cots, because sooner or later my dupes will get damaged. This is just how it's going on this asteroid usually. So putting those in place early is never a bad idea. Furthermore, as I already mentioned, I think the radiation here is pretty bad, so I will have to make sure this whole area here is secured from unnecessary amounts of radiation. So I'm going to start with a layer of obsidian tiles right in this spot here. And those should actually be just a bit higher. And I'm just going to build a few more, maybe even 4 layers, to make sure that the radiation here gets reduced a decent amount through those layers. You can already see this is quite noticeably a difference, 60% radiation blocking just by one layer. So I should get this into a livable range pretty quickly. And then I need obviously the next layer below. I should have built this the other way around, but just going to add a couple ladders and then everything should be reachable again. Okay, so 4 layers may have been even a bit overkill, but I now have almost no radiation in this area, so my dupes can work further. Now, what do I need in this area here are furthermore a couple bottle emptiers for a very simple trick to get rid of the magma down here. So I need those in place. What I also need is have a quick look at my dupes. Okay, Ruby is taking a break and Cosman is on his way. Okay, he is sunburned. Yeah, it's also very, very bright over here, but not below there. So those need to be built. And down here I need a little bit more space to the side. Namely, I need at least this much space, and I would like this layer to go down a bit further. Just to drop further down, so I'm going to also do a little bit more digging down in this area in the hopes that my dupe won't boil. Yeah. So the liquid I'm going to pump here is magma. And the idea is pretty simple. A liquid pump like this here will not overheat if it's not in contact with the magma. And for that, the parts below the platform don't count. So I can build a pump like this here and then use my dupes to basically pump out the magma up to the layer where the pump can reach. So my idea here is getting a little bit more space here so I can put in the pump properly and then just pump out the liquid manually. That way I don't need the surface pump. I can have my dupes work on that for me. So the pump is in place. I had to build it a little bit higher so the trash cots are not available right now. But you can already see how it's working. My dupe is pumping magma and putting it into those bottle emptiers. And they are alternating basically. This is the reason I have that many here, so this goes much faster. And now I'm just waiting until the magma has been pumped out of here. And then I'm going to work my way further down until I'm in contact with this blob here. And then I can make my way over here. And also work on getting my hands on the Niobiom here, which is my, or one of the main goals I have on this asteroid here. And I can also get the artifact. This already analyzed. And yeah, this is soon all going to melt, I would suspect, since there are gases in there and transmitting the heat. And at some point, yeah, this plastic here might also melt into sour gas if I'm not fast enough with this. And yeah, we even have some molten copper in here from the various wiring that got molten. Okay, so as I said, now I just need to dig further down and make my way until I get to the more interesting stuff. And there goes the last Magma bottle, so we are now done down here. Now, before I actually start digging into the oxygen here, I would like to get some Niobiom, because once the atmosphere here destroys the vacuum, my dupes won't really be able to spend long times down here without getting scalded. So I need to dig down, and down here we also have the Niobiom volcano, which I'm not going to tame likely this playthrough. So for now I'm just going to dig to this spot here, and then I am going to go down with a ladder to this spot here. Going to dig out this area here, and off in this area here. So I'm basically going to do a little bit of strip mining to get my hands on all of the interesting stuff in here. So I may have gone a bit overboard, but I now have all of the Niobiom that was on this asteroid here concentrated in this storage bin, which I'm now going to delete. Then I'm also going to add one more tile here, so once the oxygen gets released, it will not find its way into this labyrinth down here. Now, the next step is cooling down the Niobiom, because if I just were to take this Niobiom and put it into my Conqueror, I would have major problems with my dupes getting boiled. Now, the way to do this on this asteroid here is pretty simple. If you look at this tile here, it's at 54 degrees, because it was made out of materials that were hotter, but when you build something out of materials, it's at most 45 degrees hot. This is a limitation within the game code. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build metal tiles out of Niobiom. Just going to go straight up. Then once they are built, I'm going to remove them again and put in the Niobiom into this storage bin here at the top, which is for sweep only. And I'm going to do this as often as needed until I have basically all of the Niobiom cooled down. And then I can collect just the last few 51 kilograms or so, and well, that is basically all I need to cool this down, and then I can get it into the Conqueror. And done. Took a bit longer than expected since my dupes kept using the cold Niobiom to build the tiles instead of the hot, but now I have all of this inside of the Conqueror up here. All 3.5 tons. So now it's time to deal with all of this here, and you know what, I don't need data banks anymore, just need the artifact. And I also want to build one of these mini pods down here. Now, I need to dig into this space here and in this space there, so I can release all of the oxygen. And basically, that's all I would like to do, besides activating the mini pod for one of the achievements. So this one is done. Let's inspect it and let's activate it. And that's basically all I need to do. Now let's just hope this is finished before Gosman here decides to die. So why is no one bringing in the artifact? Someone should bring the artifact. Cancel move and then move anew. Apparently cancelling one of the moves somehow Destroyed the order. Okay, now this is all being done. And I'm finished over here. So, let's check. All the Niobium is in the rocket. I have my artifact in the rocket. Those here don't really matter. Databanks don't matter. Yeah, it's time to send them back to Beno. So, let's send them off. Launch. And there we go. That's basically it. And now it's time to wait for them to arrive back on Beno before I can continue building this whole setup here. Except there's one thing I can already work on. I need an atmosphere in here. And for that I'm going to use hydrogen. So I'm just going to put a canister empty in here and then put a decent amount of pressure in hydrogen atmosphere here. And I think 2.2 kilograms per tile are definitely enough. So, next step is waiting for the rocket with my conquerors to land, which is half a cycle in the future. And also getting finally done with those pipes here before I do anything else. And a bit later our two heroes arrive back at home, which means I can make one minor modification to the conqueror, namely this storage tile here will be back to obsidian, since I'm now not on an asteroid where there is a chance that my dupes try to put some ultra hot obsidian in there. Then, next up, the Niobium is going to be needed at the molecular forge in the industrial brick over here. Just going to move this manually directly over, like so. And then I'm going to make some Niobium, and this is not needed, but some Thermium, I mean, out of the Niobium and tungsten I made earlier. And for now, I think 5 tons should be way more than I'm going to need. And we have our first bit of Thermium right over here. Yeah, 100 kilograms, so let's just make sure it's in the overlay. Thermium. And now, let's have a look how are the pipes going. Yeah, we're basically done with the pipes, so let's just stop and have a look. So, the water flows down and will come along this pipe. And the petroleum will flow up along this pipe. So then I can connect here. I just follow the pipes all the way to over here. And now, the water will come from, or will flow upwards in this pipe here. For now, I'm going to leave this connected. For the petroleum, I will have to add another bridge here. Wait, that's the wrong way around. This way around. And then I can disconnect here and have my priority up, and then the overflow goes into storage. Yep, that looks good. Now I can increase the priority for all of this here to be built. And anything else I can already do. Yeah, this bridge is no longer needed. This can also go. And I can also connect those pipes here. That looks good so far. Yeah, that is exactly what I'm going to need. And once those pipes here are empty, I can also remove them again. So the cleanup is complete. The pipes are now out of the way, and I can start working on the internals for all of this here. Now, finally, let's have a quick look at the temperature. And yeah, that is looking way better than before. Although we are still getting a decent amount of heat from over here. But we are no longer boiling our base with the magma being pumped around, which is very important in my opinion. That is very nice to see. And with that, we have, I think, reached a good point to stop with this episode here. Next time, as I said, we're going to work a bit more on this here and also on the last story trait if everything goes to plan. And that brings us to the actual end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share and comment if you did so. It really helps with the algorithm. Independent of that, I wish you a nice day, and well, see you.